Hi, it's Genevieve from West of the Rockies, and we're standing here with Mario Becerra, author of Haunted East Los Angeles, and we are currently standing on Hubbard Street, the place where Richard Ramirez was actually caught back in 1985. Now, Mario, can you tell us a bit about who Richard Ramirez is for those that don't know?
Well, Richard Ramirez, for those of you that don't know, he was a serial murderer, rapist, a monster. He was a monster, and in the early to mid 80s, he committed a lot of home invasion, robberies. He would obviously murder people. He would rape old ladies, young children. In many cases, he would have the victims use blood to draw pentagrams up on the walls. Just a monster. Just a monster. This man terrorized not only Southern California, but pretty much the entire state of California. It's been known now that he actually committed a murder, I think 1 or 2 murders up in the San Francisco Bay Area. So it wasn't just here in Southern California. He also went up north to terrorize the folks up there. And he recently died in prison from cancer, I believe. This was the street where he was caught a little over 30 years ago.
Now, you actually lived here just a block on back during that time. Can you tell us a little about what happened on that night?
I grew up over here on Princeton Street, which is a block over. And I remember I was playing outside with my truck. It was summer. I had just turned 6, and my mother and my grandfather ran out the front door, and they said, agarraron al matón, which means they caught the killer. So they grabbed my hand, and we went around the block and down this way. And by the time we arrived, he was already caught. He was already the police had already arrived. He was already in the cop car bandaged up because these great people here had beaten the crap out of him. There was a long line to see him, and we got in line to see him, and he was just in the car squirming and looking around. And I remember you could just see one eye because he had a big white bandage around him. That's what happened that day. And I remember there was a bunch of helicopters flying overhead. It was quite a chaotic scene around here.
Well, we're actually standing right next to the house of the hero, I guess, who caught Richard Ramirez. I know there's a little story behind that too.
Yeah, and please pardon me if I have the details a little bit murky, but from what I understand and from one of the gentlemen here in the neighborhood told us, the gentleman that caught him, I guess like Genevieve said, the main hero, he lives, right in this house over here, and he, from what I understand, his wife was being attacked, and Ramirez tried to carjack her. And he yelled, "I have a gun." Richard Ramirez yelled, "I have a gun," but the guy didn't care. He just swooped in there, took him out, and just started beating him because, you just don't mess with another man's wife like that. Any man would have reacted that way. So that's what began that was the catalyst to the rest of the neighbors running out and, in one effort, in one group, just beat him down and take him down until the police came and took him away.
Now, you obviously caught a glimpse of this killer. I know you were young, but did that have any impact on you at that age or maybe later in life? I know a lot of people who saw him, obviously they were left with a certain feeling.
Everyone was afraid, including little children like myself. I had a couple of nightmares where he was standing at the foot of my bed. I remember one time I had the flu and I had, those fever dreams. And I remember I opened my eyes and I thought I saw him because that's how scared I think people were of him. So the day they caught him and I saw him in the flesh, more than anything, I was relieved that they had caught him. I think the whole city was just relieved that, he went away. To me, this was Satan running loose in the streets of our city. So when I saw him caught, more than anything, I felt a sense of relief.
Now, there's a specific family that you mention actually in your book, Haunted East Los Angeles, that were particularly affected by this, not just this event, this person. Could you tell us a little about that as well?
Well, we came and interviewed a family that lives on this block, and they've asked us to preserve their anonymity because it's quite a scary story. One of the young boys, he was a teenager at the time, he saw Richard Ramirez He saw when they were beating him and when they had caught him and when he was yelling to be let go. And he says that when he looked at Richard Ramirez, that he felt that he saw evil in the flesh. I mean, he thought he was seeing, as he described it, one of the devil's spawns. And it had a tremendous effect on him to the point where he started to delve into a little bit of Satanism, the Ouija board, and all those things that can lead to a lot of trouble. His parents were very devout Catholics, and unfortunately, those two, the elements of Satanism and Catholicism, they were clashing in the house, and it was the house became such a boiling pot for paranormal activity because those two forces were in constant battle with each other within that home.
You're obviously author of Haunted East Los Angeles, and you also have a new book coming up. So if anyone wants to keep up to date with all those things, where can they find you and how can they support you?
Right now, all I have is a Facebook page. You can just go to Facebook, type in Haunted East Los Angeles, and my updates are there right now. That's the only place I have updates going on with regard to my authorship and the new book that I'm writing, which is called Haunted Los Angeles, which is going to deal with the entire city, not just East Los Angeles.
All right, so that was Mario Becerra. Thank you very much for talking to us here on West of the Rockies, and we'll be back soon with more videos.
Thank you.